Meet Helen, our latest Frost heroine and captain to the Black Moon Gang. One can say she's both charming and alarming at the same time. Being the latest attack unit for the Frost teams, Helen can be both main and sub DPS depending on who you pair her with. Equipped with her brother-in-arms in the form of a literal bear, the stage is set for Helen and Pollux to bring Frost back to the top and entertain us along the way. Helen is a Frost DPS unit with the usual fusion of Frost and Volt, Frost Volt Resonance, Force Impact, and the special on-field trait, dealing damage to nearby enemies every 1.5 seconds. Her Charge and Shatter are the usual 16 and 14, but at this point, every unit seems to be the same. Helen can be deployed as a main DPS or burst DPS in the various Frost teams. For the prime meta team of Helen x Lynxes, Helen acts as a DPS that you swap in to do her combos into burst finishers, then swapping back to Lynxes for her moves and establishing the duo as a double DPS partnership. As a main DPS, Helen's core damage comes from her normal attacks after accumulating her prelude stacks, which is indicated with a buff icon below. So what does that do? With every 50 prelude points accumulated, you get to cast one usage of Rage Claw skill, and after casting that 2 times, your special normal attack, Radiant Resonance, is unlocked. With that, holding down the attack key will allow Helen to deal enormous damage to nearby targets. You'll see Pollux slamming the shit out of them. After that, you just have to do normal attacks until your other weapons are ready. Helen's attacks are the usual 5-hit normal attack combos almost every main DPS would perform, with each hit generating prelude points. The first 3 hits give 5 points, 4th hit gives 10 points, and the 5th and last hit gives 25 points, which translates to one normal attack combo giving 50 points in total. Prelude points cap at 100, so you need to perform 2 normal attack combos to max out your prelude.
Pro tip:
her 1-star advancement lets you max out prelude in 1 normal attack rotation. FYI. Each time you accumulate 50 points, using the skill can summon the Big Brother Bear to whack those enemies and at the same time gaining 1 stack of Encore. Upon obtaining 2 stacks of Encore, you unlock the special normal attack move, which also has a buff indicator below. This special attack is performed by holding your attack button while on the ground, and Big Brother Bear will smash the target with a huge multiplier, dealing big damage and completing the move set. I'd say this is the most important attack in Helen's kit, so you want to prioritize doing this. It also has a cool animation if you're into that. The second part of her skill is some puppeteer action where you get to control Pollux. Holding down the skill for a brief moment will summon Pollux, and you can use it to beat down those enemies by pressing the skill button. Not the left click attack button, yeah? The skill button. Pressing dodge or jump will get you out of this mode. This skill does not deal a lot of damage and is not included in DPS rotations. It's more of an entertainment factor when you just want to relax and have a cup of tea. Helen's normal attacks have a feel-good factor, and you can really see a lot of emphasis was put into making it look good and feel good. Her aerial attacks are pretty similar to the ground ones, and they do accumulate energy as well. One way to use her aerials is when you jump cancel your discharge, you can perform the combo in the air, land, and continue the 4th and 5th normal attack into a smooth rotation. It's great for min-maxers to compress those milliseconds between jump cancelling and landing to continue the combo. Her dodge attack doesn't look very special, but if you look closely, she tosses a mini cyclone-like effect forward, and what does this do? In combat and against regular mobs, it's a form of crowd control and locks them together, sort of like the space-time rift black hole effect. This effect does not work on bosses unfortunately, but it's neat to have it when the situation arises. Again, I gotta say the animation is just top notch. My god. Now, long holding the dodge attack lets you summon Pollux as a trampoline-like object, and what can you do with it? Jumping on it lets you bounce up and down in the air exactly like what a trampoline does. It's so funny! Oh, and if you equip Lan and do her double jump onto the trampoline, you can soar up into the air and go whee! In all seriousness, it's purely for entertainment purposes, and you can summon up to 3 Pollux trampolines in one go. Of course, it's not just limited to you only. Of course. Her discharge looks very nice and well cooked, but unfortunately has no special effects tied to it and takes up quite a bit of time, so yeah, gotta jump cancel it in those rotations, y'all. Trait-wise, as long as Helen is on the team, you will use her trait. Regardless of her being main DPS or sub DPS, it is a step up from the former Void Piercer trait of Frost teams and significantly more than the Lynx's ones. On the Relic side, the preferred relic of choice would be the buff dealer at minimum 2 stars, best performance being 5 stars. Second relic would be the Battle Eye Mark II at minimum 2 stars, best performance being 5 stars. Other relics such as the rifle, mask, bubble gun are all usable if you don't have the Mark II or buff dealer. What is not recommended would be the Overdrive shot, as you'll need to tap Helen's skill twice in quick succession, and that consumes charges from it, resulting in the said charges depleting faster than your cooldown and a loss of damage overall. In a team of Helen and Lynx's, they both share on-field DPS durations, so Overdrive shot is also not applicable in those circumstances. F2P players can still go with the Koan 2 stars and Omnium Shield 5 stars in place of those premium relics. Helen's 2-piece matrices increases Frost attack and a special attack damage multiplier, which is a significant jump from the base and very good for increasing her damage. Her 4-piece set increases final damage and an additional boost for Frost damage similar to previous DPS matrices effects, with the 4-piece set requiring her weapon to activate them. As far as resources are concerned, if you're able to get a 4-piece set, it's the best for Helen and Frost in general because a lot of Frost damage depends on swapping between different units. If you only can get 2-piece, and this is also for F2P players, you can pair them with other on-field matrices Cobalt B, Samir, and also background effect matrices in 2-piece Yulan, and the future 2-piece Yanor when she joins the standard pool, with 2-piece Yanor being the best option of them all. On to the team comps. Frost has several teams that Helen can feature in. The meta team of Helen, Lynx's and Void Piercer has the highest damage output amongst all others, with Helen and Lynx's technically sharing the main DPS role and Void Piercer buffing behind the scenes. Surprisingly, the altered Frost team of Helen, Void Piercer and Nola would also work with Helen being main DPS and both altered units supporting her in that role. Nola just refuses to go away. Helen, Grey Fox and Void Piercer track closely behind, with Helen being the main DPS of the team. The jump in raw power is pretty evident, with a 30% increment over the old Frost comp and about 5 to 10% increment over Hipper and Matrices teams. Other Helen teams are pretty close to one another, with double DPS teams edging the single Helen DPS teams by a bit. For our F2P friends, Helen can pair with Yulan or Linghan from the standard banner, and if you do not have any altered units yet, you can use them with any other units while saving resources for the next altered banner. Brevi, Coco Ritter, Ine are all possible units you can pair them with. Helen's 1-star provides a final damage boost and lets you charge up her energy faster, which is key. Base 0-star needs 2 normal attack combos to fully charge those stacks. With 1-star, you can do it with 1 full normal attack combo. Her 3-star recovers HP for you whenever you use her skill and provides damage mitigation when you use her skill or special attacks. 5-star increases final damage and provides a one-time death immunity with a cooldown of 60 seconds. This effect works in the background. 6-star Helen increases frost damage boost and also both her special skill multipliers, purely for DPS and min-max purposes. So you can look at her advancements this way. 1-star and 6-star are crucial for her damage, while 3-star and 5-star are more for sustainability and survivability purposes. Remember, a dead DPS has no DPS, my friends. Recommendations wise, if your resources allow you to, 1-star Helen is best for DPS teams that already have established units and do not have problems surviving harsh content and painful bosses. If you're starting out with Helen and have no good backup, 3-star Helen is the best for her sustain and smooth damage output. Whales and rankers, you know the drill. Maxing Helen is the way. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Just invest according to what your resources tell you to, okay? Helen represents a new wave of DPS for Frost and surprisingly shares the spotlight with Lynxes instead of just being a sub-DPS or buffer for the team. In terms of raw power, she's definitely up there with the best, bringing Frost back to the top with those silky moves of hers. Design and animation wise, she's as good or even better than Aster, as Helen's gameplay feels so smooth. Well, Aster felt like a Frost unit anyway. For those that love the fashion side of things, Helen brings a touch of class in her tea-sipping stance, which you can use on your other characters for entertainment purposes. Simply amazing. What do you think? Is Helen a wonder? Or are you saving up for another powerhouse around the corner? Let me know in the comments and I'll see y'all in the next one.